Hi, my name is Victoria McNeil. I head up the employment team here at Jordan's Corporate Law, and today I'm going to be talking about restrictive covenants.
Could you explain to me what restrictive covenants are?
Well, they're clauses that are contained in an individual's contract of employment. They're usually only going to be found in senior employees' contracts, as they will have the necessary connections with customers and suppliers and influence over other staff in the business.
If they're only useful for senior employees, why would I include restrictive covenants?
Well, they're designed to protect a business for a specific length of time after an employee has left employment. Usually they'll guard against the employee competing against the business, soliciting or dealing with customers or suppliers, or even poaching their fellow staff. A well-drafted restrictive covenant will give you the option to decide whether or not you want to take legal action against the individual who breaches their covenant. Ultimately, this could mean issuing in the High Court for injunctive relief or damages.
Oh, okay, so I've heard about these, but I thought that they weren't worth the paper that they were written on.
Well, the truth is that a lot of restrictive covenants won't be enforceable because they're legally void for restraint of trade. The key is to ensure that they're drafted tightly and no wider than necessary to protect the company's legitimate business interests. If you try to include a clause that's too wide, the judges will take a strict approach to enforcement because restrictive covenants are ultimately seeking to prevent an individual from competing against the company and limiting their ability to work in the wider workplace. I'd recommend that restrictive covenants are therefore bespoke to the business, but also the individual's role. They must look only to protect the company's legitimate business interests and must be no wider than necessary in terms of their length in time and geographical scope.
What should I do about my existing employees and their contracts?
Well, there's a number of things that you need to check. First of all, do your senior employees' contracts of employment actually contain restrictive covenants in the first place? Secondly, if they do, when were these last reviewed? And do they relate to the work that the employee is doing now in their current role? Have the covenants been drafted on a bespoke basis, tailored to the business and the role of the specific employee? Or are they simply just generic clauses that have been slotted into the individual's contract?
I'm not sure I'd even know what I was looking at if I did review those things. Are you able to help me?
Certainly, we can assist in reviewing your existing restrictive covenants, or we can draft bespoke covenants for you and provide you with advice in relation to any changes that need to be made. We can also advise on enforcement, and that doesn't necessarily always mean going as far as the High Court. You can also just send a warning shot across the bow, so to speak, a letter reminding the employee of the restrictive covenants in their contract if you suspect that they might be breaching them or about to breach them.
So how can I get in touch with you?
Please feel free to email me on vmcneil@jordanscorporatelaw.com.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.